What is going on, everybody? This is episode 611 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Myself, please. Yes. Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. I think that Mercury might be in Gatorade or something is going on. The tides are shifting because we're just having an abnormal one today, aren't we, Brett?
Yes. Okay, so today's one of those days where all day I felt like, you know that feeling when you sit up too fast and all the blood rushes to your head? Mm-hmm. That's what today feels like to me. And usually what that is, and I can point this out.
That's just my life.
Yeah. But usually what it is, guys, is I mean, I don't know if you ever do if any of you ever do presentations at work where you have to talk in front of an audience or anything like that. But it's one of those things where it's like your brain is catching up to what you're saying and I can hear my voice in my skull.
Well, the headphones might have something to do with that.
No, it was doing it before we even started. So even before we started the show, and I'm just sitting here like this.
I think that you were cursed by the demon of Yanny.
Yes!
It's yesterday. All Yanny's fault.
Oh, and Laurel was like, no, I can't save you, bro. I can't save you. Yanny now owns you.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's really the culprit here.
Oh, you know what it is?
And also, Kellen said that he was going to join us today, and then for some reason, I think that maybe he
just doesn't like us.
Maybe he died. I don't really know what happened, but he's not here today. So we're just, trying not to go crazy up here.
That's what it is. Like, what it is right now is you got to, shake it out and get ready to go because we got a lot to talk about today. It's going to be an interesting one. So, guys, before we get started, would you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel, please, if you have not subscribed here yet already. Again, please and thank you. Share the video with your friends and family and loved ones. It is the best way to help this show grow is by sharing it out so that more people can see the show and share it with their friends, family, and loved ones. Also, remember, please, all super chats $20 and over. We will interrupt the discussion. We will read those super chats right then and there, and then we will get back on topic as best we can.
We need to encourage people to not only share this show with their loved ones, but also their haters.
Everyone you hate, share it with them too.
I think it can unite you and your haters, and they will begin praying for your upfall.
Exactly. That's your upfall?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, first things first, guys, the day is finally here. Rings of Power Day, meaning that season 2 trailer has in fact dropped, and it is
Pogging?
Yes.
Season 2 of Rings of Power? This is the highlight of my life.
And it got dropped on the same day. And then House of the Dragon, like the Chads they are, waited 30 minutes and goes, yoink, and dropped their trailer.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the Rings of Power and just how ratioed they got. I got to fix again, the day's already going well, ladies and gentlemen, because the Crisis Meter, well, both money guns went off at the same time, which means that it got messed up. So I'm just going to fix this here on the fly. Look at me, a guy who can almost multitask. It's amazing. All right, I think we're good. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Rings of Power and the trailer sucking. We're going to watch the trailer, and then we're going to talk about how the ratio has gotten progressively worse as the day has gone on. I have kept my eyes on it. I have written down the numbers as the day has gone on. It's been well worth it. So we're going to discuss that. We're also going to talk about Marvel because Marvel's got a bunch of stuff going on right now. Chris Hemsworth, he's just simping left and right for Marvel, and that's... Look, you work for them. It's kind of your job. But he has some comments about both the likes of Scorsese dunking on them. I would call that elitist, but maybe perhaps not. But also about other actors who work for Marvel who then dunk on Marvel after they leave.
Or didn't work for Marvel and are mad about it.
So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about a streamer named Vitali who's kind of gone viral in the last, I guess more like a couple of weeks now, where he's just been going around and catching PDF files all over. And he's turned it into a business model of sorts on his channel. And it's kind of controversial because I think a lot of people debate about, what you're doing is an honorable thing to want to do to expose evildoers. But then when you're doing it for the benefit of your channel, people call motives into question, which I think is an interesting discussion. So we got that. We got a bunch of other stuff. So Mary, if you're ready as we can
I'm as ready as can be right now.
We can just go ahead and get started.
There's no better time than now.
First things first, guys. This is interesting. Nicolas Cage to star in Spider-Man Noir, the live-action series at MGM Plus and Amazon Prime Video. The first thing I thought interesting about that was the fact that it's MGM Plus and Amazon Prime Video, because Amazon owns MGM now. Which is interesting, but so
he did a voice acting role
in
for this?
Spider-Man in Into the Spider-Verse. as that. And it's good. And it actually is really, really good, and it's interesting.
So Spider-Man talks like this.
He's still talking in like a Nicolas Cage voice.
Still Nicolas Cage voice.
So the basic premise from, look, I never read anything of the source material of this, but he basically fights Nazis, which Hollywood loves, as we know when we watched Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
I just saw this announcement for a Rami Malek movie where it's like about testing former Nazi soldiers to see if they were fit for trial in the Nuremberg trials.
Yeah.
Which is, an interesting concept if it weren't such an oversaturated subgenre at this point, right?
Yeah. And it's one of those things where every time now, like we went and saw the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, and the word
and Dial of Destiny did that too.
And the word Nazi is said 9,999 times in the movie, as if they don't know what that means. Right?
Yeah.
Like
you can't just project like current day political linguistics onto the past. And that
they do though.
Goes for academia, but not Hollywood.
Correct. And so that is an interesting enough premise. Noir is very hard for Hollywood to do these days. I don't think they do the subdued nature that noir requires as well as they would like. Like I'm trying to picture them do like Raymond Chandler these days, and I just don't think they're going to be able to pull it off. Does it involve
like a lot of cigar smoking?
It's about the tone, it's about the harsh shadows and the lighting. It should be in black and white,
right,
and all this stuff. That's the stories. To me, a lot of it is like there's kind of like a patriarchal tone to the storytelling that I don't think that they can really do.
A patriarchal tone.
Yes. So the way women are perceived in these things and the way these things are done. Like, are they going to do? I'm not specifically for this, but sexy cabaret singer, things like that. Like there's aspects of noir that I just don't think Hollywood wants to do these days, and they're going to want to change it fundamentally away from what it was. Kind of the same way I feel that they're doing with Westerns, which is to sanitize the genre and make it very different from what it was when it was in its formative years. But Nicolas Cage is great, and I think a lot of it, the selling point here is that it's Nicolas Cage to begin with, right? And I think he's got a great voice for it. He obviously knows what he's doing when it comes to acting in stories like this. If anybody remembers Ghost Rider, obviously people liked him in that role, though I would imagine that people have very strong opinions on whether they like the first one or the second one better. But Nicolas Cage I saw somebody in the chat say Nicolas Cage is a national treasure.
I think that this is a great opportunity for Hollywood to bring back the transatlantic accent.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. Hey.
But is he gonna commit to the bit? You think?
So when he does the voice in Into the Spider-Verse, it's maybe I was just reading into it too much. It's like he's Nicolas Cage trying to do it a little bit, but it mostly just sounds like him.
I just saw that Chris Pratt said his hardest voice acting role was Mario.
Yes, he said that Mario
it was harder than Garfield. That's what he said.
Yeah.
But it's like, bro, that was literally just your voice.
And when I think of the funny thing is like when I hear Garfield now, was it Bill Murray that voiced Garfield before? That's who I think of.
Yeah.
When I think of Garfield.
Yeah.
I don't think of the cartoon.
I agree.
But Nicolas Cage has got a lot of goodwill when it comes to working in this space, I think. I was talking to someone the other day. I said, if you want to show your kids really, really fun movies that have a strong love for America, go watch the old National Treasure movies, 1 and 2, not the abysmal show that came out on Disney+, but watch National Treasure 1 and 2, and you'll see something really, really fun. But I also think that there's a strong argument, like, why does it have to be live action? What's really, really interesting. So
because the medium of animation is not as well respected in the award shows and
I don't think that anybody's going
Hollywood
to watch
in general,
like Nicolas Cage superhero stuff for award shows anyway. So what's funny is like when one of the comments, because I was tweeting about this earlier, I said, "What are your thoughts on this idea?" And they said, "Why do live action? It's so limiting." Back in the day, it was the opposite. Back in the day, everything was made as animation, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, I would love to see these characters done live action." Now, that's kind of the last thing I want. Well,
it's like video games for the longest time. The novelty of graphics getting better and better was so interesting to people, and now they've gotten about as good as they can get, and people are reverting back to simple graphics and the next frontier of like VR and AI and other sensory experiences.
Like this is kind of an interesting example, but I was thinking of The Dark Knight Rises, and they've got Tom Hardy as Bane. I don't want to see and Tom Hardy's kind of short to begin with. I don't want to see regular sized Bane, even if he's muscular. I want to see hulking, enormous, and he dwarfs Batman. Right? And that's done through animation in a much easier fashion. One of the better examples of it done well live action is Vincent D'Onofrio as Wilson Fisk, who's always the character of Kingpin is always portrayed as being very, very large. And Vincent D'Onofrio is a large dude, so it kind of works. But there's a $20 one there from Alfred LaRocque.
I don't see it here. Oh, he said, we think Mary is a national treasure. Sure. Wait.
Sorry to interrupt.
Sorry to interrupt. I've been around for a while, but not sure what the crisis party trigger is anymore. Help a dummy out and fill me in. Thanks, folks. Keep up the good old work.
Well, so every time we get to $100 in super chats, you trigger a crisis party.
Yes,
my friend. That is how it happens. So we
forget to explain that. I guess new people might be a little confused.
Yeah. So as you see with the meter right there, the crisis meter goes up with every super chat, so we're sitting at $25.96 right now. So we're a quarter of the way to the first crisis party. And Mary is a national treasure.
Thanks.
There you go. I would like to see, also for animation, I guess because I've been explaining to people that I've been watching the Spawn animated series right now, which is very, very dark. Not made for kids in the slightest, and they're not going to make it in that same tone that they did. Granted, obviously, Spider-Man Noir and Spawn are vastly different properties that have very little to do with each other when it comes to tone. But I kind of like the idea of going back to creating some of these fantastical characters, especially the ones that aren't your mainstream. So Spider-Man, big screen, live action, sure. Spider-Man Noir, with an aging Nick Cage, I think that lends itself to doing animation. The same reason why I like that they don't put too many live action Batmans on screen at one time, and they flood the market with animated Batmans. Leave your live action Batman alone. Do it once in a while. They already do it too much. But leave the more ancillary versions of the character for animation and let the people create stories that work within the genre. Mm-hmm. I like that a lot more. So I'm just going to read a little bit through it. So he did previously play them in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This will be the first time the character's been portrayed in a live-action project, per the official logline. Noir will tell the story of an aging and down-on-his-luck private investigator in the 1930s New York who is forced to grapple with his past life as the city's one and only superhero. That's actually a really interesting concept that I think could work very, very well. Do I think that Amazon Prime and MGM Plus are going to be the ones to pull it off? Honestly, I don't know. I've liked the work that they've done with their crime genres, and we're going to get a little bit more into that when we talk about what we talk about next. But superheroes is a different thing, and noir is a different thing. I did see somebody suggest that they get Robert Rodriguez to do it. That could be very interesting.
It's too late for that now.
Yeah.
I think I've noticed some fatigue with the animation style of Spider-Verse. Because it's spreading.
That type of animation.
Yeah.
Look, it's what it is for me is it's good to watch once in a while, but it's not something I would like to see become a genre unto itself.
Yeah,
it's a little bit too chaotic for me.
Mutant Mayhem had it.
Yeah.
Puss in Boots 4 had it.
There's another 20 there from Alfred LaRocque.
He said, I'm dropping another 20 to apologize for spelling errors. I don't know why chatting from phone, the autocorrect butcher stuff. I promise I don't type like that.
That's okay, man.
It's okay. Sometimes your super chats, they're a little hard to understand. But
I do like this description for Cage. It says, "We are absolutely thrilled to have Nicolas Cage starring in the series. No one else could bring such pathos, pain, and heart to the singular character." Look, I kind of agree. Nicolas Cage is amazing. So we need, and after that, guys,
is he working much?
Yes, he is. He's working very regularly. And after that, guys, Lord of War 2. Lord of War 2. I want that. I don't know how you're going to make it. Lord of War came out in 2005, but I think you could do it. All right, let's go ahead and move on then, shall we? That should be interesting. It'll be fun to see where that one goes. Another smaller announcement from the same studios, guys, is that Amazon reveals they first look at Aldous Hodge as Detective Alex Cross in the Cross trailer. This kind of bums me out because I love Aldous Hodge as an actor. Leverage is one of my favorite shows of all time. Certainly a very, very different genre than this. But of course, Alex Cross is a James Patterson character. I forgot completely when I was thinking about it. I was like, I never saw the 2012 Tyler Perry Alex Cross movie, and it's still hard for me to buy.
Wait, it's not a comedy.
No.
It's serious.
I never saw it, so...
Okay.
But I have seen Kiss the Girls with Morgan Freeman, which until I remembered recently is an Alex Cross movie. That and Along Came a Spider. I saw Kiss the Girls. I didn't see Along Came a Spider, but I saw them when I was much, much younger and didn't know anything really about the books that they were based on. But if you watch the trailer, guys, and we're not going to play it here because we're already going to get dinged for the Rings of Power trailer later.
True.
It's kind of just like, look, Hodge has great screen presence. He's got a magnetic look when he's doing this role, but it just feels very boilerplate. It doesn't feel like there's anything there that gives it a signature look all its own. It kind of reminded me.
That's kind of everything from Amazon, right?
I mean, I feel like Reacher had its own look. I feel like, but here's the thing. It's being run. The showrunner is a guy named Ben Watkins, who was a very, very good story editor and writer who worked on Burn Notice back in the day, which puts him in this genre, at least ancillary. And I like that. And I think that could be done very, very well. But a lot of times what it feels like is when you get these spy genres, you have to rely on a very good showrunner because Amazon just lets them, kind of seems to leave them to their own devices. Reacher was good. The Terminalist was good.
Citadel was the other one?
That's a bad one.
That was bad.
I forgot. I should have added that one. So that's a good example. So now we've got 2 hits, 2 misses. So Reacher was good. What did I say? Reacher was good. Jack Ryan, season 1 and 3 were good. I didn't like season 2. Terminalist was good. Without Remorse with Michael B. Jordan was awful. And then, like you said, Citadel was not good. In fact, I gave up after 2 episodes. I couldn't do it. So it's kind of hit or miss when it comes to it. But the hope is that it's given a look all its own and it doesn't feel like it's being written by committee or that there's heavy studio interference to make it something that it doesn't need to be. It should be interesting to see what comes out from this. But
he was in Black Adam, right?
Yes, he was.
I don't remember him from...
He played Hawkman.
Yeah, I barely remember.
But he, as an actor, he's really, really good. And we'll see. My favorite role of him, like I said, from Leverage was a comedy. So
wait,
it's
wasn't
vastly
he
different.
one of the pitches for race-swapped James Bond?
No, because he's American.
There were Americans.
I mean, if somebody did, it
pitched.
would make no sense, but I guess.
Yeah.
It says, bringing one of James Patterson's most iconic literary characters to life for our global Prime Video customers was a dream come true, and we can't wait for everyone to see Aldous Hodge's dynamic performance as Cross. Ben Watkins and his team have created something unique with the crime thriller genre that longtime fans and newcomers alike will all enjoy. And with over 30 novels written by Patterson featuring Alex Cross as his main protagonist, is an easy choice to bring back. That's the whole point there is like, it's already been greenlit for season 2 because when they get IP, they're like, look at all of these seasons we can butcher.
Wait, was Mr. and Mrs. Smith an Amazon show?
Yes.
Yeah, that's also been renewed for a second season.
Supposedly without the actor or actress, because apparently Childish Gambino is going back on tour, and they just said the actress is probably not going to come back.
So
I don't know
what's happening. What do you mean?
Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the anthology.
What does that mean?
I'm making that up. I have no idea. Like,
they're
what
just
do you do
recasting
without
them?
Probably just recasting them.
What is the point?
The whole point is that Mary, IP is king. Like
the
I was
idea of
saying
casting
yesterday.
them in the first place was stupid. Whatever.
Yeah. Oh, what if they brought back Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt and they just yell at each other the whole time because they hate each other now?
That would be a vibe.
Be kind of a vibe.
Yeah.
Like all the sexual tension is still there because they just hate each other's guts now.
Yeah, I think that's the type of chemistry we want to see.
Like, okay, so guys, I do recommend going and checking out this trailer. Like, when I see this, it's got the same muted gray color palette that Terminalist had, which was, heavy grays, the blacks are very, very dark. The tones and grays are really, really washed out. There's not a lot of saturation to it.
What's annoying is that even the Little Mermaid looks like that now. So it doesn't feel differentiated.
I mean, that was always going to happen with live action under the water stuff. Though they could, I guess Aquaman wasn't necessarily always like that.
Everything just looks very dull now.
But when I see something like this, I do get the vibe of something like Kiss the Girls or these like late 90s thrillers that unfortunately, guys, just had an edge to them that they're never going to allow you to have now.
Yeah.
They're just not.
Until there's a natural evolution back.
One of the things that I find interesting, and I think about this when I watch old movies like that, is like when you watch an old movie or an old television show and like a cop in an interrogation room like beats up a suspect, you're kind of supposed to root for the cop.
Yeah.
You're supposed to, right? Now when they do it, it feels, even if he's the good guy, like it's a form of social commentary, you know?
Did you ever watch The Closer?
With Kira Sedgwick?
Yeah.
I watched the first season.
Did you notice how, like, in interrogation rooms, she would come in, and she's, like, obviously the sweetest Southern belle lady ever, and she yells at them?
Yeah.
She like, forces them to confess every time.
And they do.
And it's, it's lay epic girl boss, but I kind of still love her. Like, it's hard to believe.
What I liked about that
But you're supposed to be rooting for her.
Yeah. And then when they did Major Crimes with... what's her name? McDonald. I don't remember her first name. The actress, she talks very soft.
Yeah.
And she
was like the foil to Brenda.
Yeah. But then she becomes the main character in the spin-off show, and then all the detectives hate her. All those actors like went from one show to the next. Like all the main actors except for Kira Sedgwick's character moved on and went straight to Major Crimes. They did like 2 shows for like 15 gazillion seasons, and it was awesome. And it's just funny because she talks like a mom who's so mad at you she can't raise her voice.
But she did become a mom in the show.
Well, she already had kids that were out of the house.
She became an
adopted
mom.
Rusty, the most annoying character in the history of television. If anybody here has ever watched the show Major Crimes,
Rusty.
There isn't a person alive that isn't a psychopath that liked the Rusty character.
I don't even remember why I hated Rusty at this point.
Shut up, Cheryl. Oh, was it Sharon? God. He was basically Napoleon Dynamite for Major Crimes.
When you go to your white friend's house, this is how he talks.
Shut up, Sharon. God. So go ahead and check out the trailer for Cross Season 2. Maybe I'll have to go back and watch the Tyler Perry one because I just can't picture Tyler Perry doing the role. But we'll have to wait and see. All right, guys, let's move on. So, Catherine
in the
Bigelow,
vein of Civil War, right?
Yes.
Catherine Bigelow is directing a movie for Netflix about the White House reacting in real time to ballistic missiles headed for America. But obviously the punchline here is that the writer is named Noah Oppenheim.
I like the
Have
idea.
you heard of this guy?
It wasn't a name that was familiar to me.
He's the
like
soft
the idea.
R Oppenheimer.
I like the idea that he's related, but he just dropped the ER so that nobody would know.
Everyone's gonna know.
They're gonna know.
How are they gonna know?
How are they gonna know? Does that interest you?
Somewhat, but everyone said that Civil War was mid, so
yeah.
I don't know if they can really do this.
Movies where Hollywood.
Who is sending the missiles? That's important, right?
Probably Nazis.
Are they gonna go the Top Gun Maverick route and just not identify the enemy
It's
nation?
just a vaguely unnamed nation.
Yeah, I feel like that's important.
It's like a half Palestinian flag, a half Israeli flag.
I don't know.
Israelstein.
Yeah.
That's what they can do. Pal Israel.
Pal is real.
That's what they can do. And I don't know what they'll end up doing for this, but it's a vaguely interesting concept. I don't like it when Hollywood turns their eyes inwards at America because of their bias. I tend to not like that.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
And Noah, just change your last name, bro. It's not working.
No, I think it's a strong suit.
Noah with the hard R.
This is, I don't know what to make of this story, but Taylor Swift was doing a concert in Paris recently, and one of her fans decided it would be a good idea to put their baby on the ground, like just unattended, laying there with a feather boa around the baby. And I guess this is just because they didn't have a baby carrier or something, but nobody knew whose baby it was. It's like, what do you do in that situation?
Does the baby at least have earplugs in?
I hope so.
That's the real question.
I hope so. But yeah, there's this photo of this poor child laying on the ground, hopefully accompanied by a parent or guardian standing over them. But yeah, this is just kind of sad.
When you first sent it to me, I'm like, holy crap, did the baby just get left there? Like, did they think it was like one of those like sanctuaries that you can leave it at a church and it'll just get brought to an adoption agency?
So, okay, this woman who's like 6 months pregnant going to a Drake concert, she gets hate. Yeah. But the Swiftie who abandoned their child at the Taylor Swift concert, she is fine.
Somebody who's in the chat says, Brad the Bird says they blurred the baby's face like they don't all look the same.
They do. Yeah, it's kind of pointless. Yeah.
But yeah, that lady's got to feel a little bit awkward now. She's like, look, I'm not a bad mom. I had nowhere to put the baby.
Someone said, I understand sitters are hard to find. So if you really needed to bring them, you shouldn't be in the pit. You should have a carrier for them.
Yes.
Yeah, because they're going to get trampled by Swifties.
And like those, they wouldn't even be apologetic. They'd go through into like a weird type of Swiftie rage that would like build up in the Swiftie mosh pit.
They're like a bunch of demons. Do Swifties start mosh pits? Is that a thing?
I have no idea.
They like circle around and kick each other.
I don't go to Taylor Swift concerts, so I wouldn't really know.
I've heard it's demonic.
Yep, that's what they said. Mm-hmm. All right, Daily Trump.
We do have a Trump of the day.
What is this one? Do you want to tell everybody?
A Trump cover of My Chemical Romance is The Black Parade.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I loved it.
Oh.
Iconic.
When I was a young boy, my father took me into a city to see one of the greatest marching bands ever, and they were great. He said, son, when you grow up, will you be the savior of the broken, the chosen one, the beaten and the damned?
I wonder if he does, because the hand gestures are important to that, to get it right.
Yeah. I want to hear the rest. And I want the Biden cover.
Release the whole thing.
Yeah.
Release the whole thing. That's what you should be doing. All right. That was good.
I don't know if Trump of the Day can continue after this.
You'll have to keep looking.
If you guys have submissions for Trump of the Day,
send them over.
Send them over, I guess.
Trump of the Day. I like it.
I like Trump of the Day.
Cringe or cute of the day?
Let's start with cute.
Cute of the day first? All right. Here we go. First things first, guys. And we got a bunch of them here. This is adorable. This is Dolly Parton. She's a Yorkie. She will fall asleep anywhere.
Aww.
Look at those eyes.
Dolly. Cute. Very cute.
Hopefully it doesn't fall asleep on the rock there.
Yeah.
Let's do one more. This is, it says, Frankie takes road signs very seriously. Subaru. Subaru, not so much. And stop groaning at my screen name. Yes. Stiffy314.
Great.
There you go.
Subaru is the actual name of the other dog.
You can say at latte underscore no whip. There you go.
Cute. Are we gonna show Dane's post?
I don't have it pulled up, but we'll do that tomorrow.
Dane, yeah, we'll include that tomorrow.
Yeah. All right, let's do cringe of the day. This one actually is unbelievably cringe, and
it's like more than cringe. It's just disgusting.
Kind of ruined my day. Thank you for showing this to me. I hate it.
You're welcome.
All that I have is
muting this shit too.
I feel like the music made it worse when I first saw. So there's nothing unusual about this at all. Obviously, I don't know why this is cringe of the day. This video seems entirely normal to me. Nothing stands out about it.
Thanks, I hate it. I hate it!
Why do you hate it? I don't get it. Are you a bigot? Thank you!
I don't like ugly women either.
Now you're not in the mood to dance.
I don't like ugly women either.
It's kind of ridiculous that they're in a pole dancing class to begin with.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna do that, at least not have people like that joining you.
All right, let's go ahead and now we're making good time today. We're 40 minutes into it. It's time to talk about the dumpster fire that is Rings of Power Season 2.
Yeah, so the first trailer for Rings of Power Season 2 just came out, and it's already getting ratioed into oblivion by fans of the franchise. And I just don't understand who asked for this. I feel like maybe they had the opportunity to listen to the backlash backlash and make some changes. But knowing the way that these people operate, there's a very slim chance of that. You see Sauron in this trailer with long hair, and he's in all the promo images. But I'm seeing mostly negative feedback in the comments here.
I do want to give you an update on what the ratio has been for this show. So it started off when I checked in the morning at 25,000 upvotes to 45,000 downvotes. It then went to 30,000 upvotes to 61,000 downvotes. After that, it went to 33,000 upvotes to 77,000 downvotes. And then just before air, 35,000 upvotes to 84,000 downvotes. So it struggles to leave the 30K upvote mark. Well, the downvotes just consistently continue to
The
spike.
shocking part of this is that they haven't turned off the comment section on YouTube yet.
I mean, if the whole point is outrage marketing, wouldn't be the point be to leave it open?
I don't know. Is that what they're going for?
I mean, that's what that's kind of what people posited in season 1. Like, you don't make a trailer that bad for that season 1. Like, remember that one trailer in season 1 where it's like all their...
Oh, like the soap opera intro with all of the characters unveiled. Yeah, that was really bad.
Yep.
It seems like, I don't know, I felt gaslit because as I was searching for comments about this on Twitter, I was seeing mostly shills. Like, mostly people who are genuinely, at least seem excited for this second season.
Well, let's take a look and see what you guys think of season 2, and let us know what you guys think. So here we go.
An evil, ancient and powerful, has returned.
Prepare yourselves.
See what I mean?
The worms is way inside your mind. The crest of him slithers in.
I think he has been here. I think he's been here among us all along.
Among Us?
I literally
Imposter?
I literally thought it was just Matt Smith. I'm like, how did he get out? Like, why would he leave House of the Dragon season 2?
He's booked and busy.
Yeah.
Every soul in Middle-earth is in peril.
He's Sauron.
There you have it.
Yep.
It's coming out in August. I love how Sauron's disguise was just having a different haircut.
Yep. A different wig.
Like, that was what fooled everyone. But also, this has been up for 6 hours right now, and it hasn't reached 1 million views.
No,
which
it
is
has
kind of
not.
surprising for IP of this caliber.
And if you want a comparative number, House of the Dragon also released a trailer for their season 2 today, which when I checked in the morning was sitting at 27,000 upvotes to just a single 211 downvotes.
Do you think it was planned for them to release that trailer same day
Oh, I hope so. I'm assuming so.
for Amazon? Because I saw someone tweet like House of the Dragon's social media admin waking up to 17 missed calls from HBO Max telling them to hit send on the trailer.
I'm double checking here. So as of right now, it's
Being received much better.
57,000 upvotes to 699 downvotes.
That one is Matt Smith. Just
That
so
is
we're
actually
clear.
Matt Smith.
Yeah.
there, Yes.
I know
correct.
they all run together at this point.
He does. The other guy does look like Matt Smith.
Wait, well, I don't even know what his name was.
I don't know the actor's name.
Yeah, I don't know.
And the shocking thought that I had was I remember nothing from season 1 other than it being unbelievably aggressively bad.
I mean, I don't really think this trailer is bad. It's just generic. You know, some people think that they're trying to correct course, but mostly I'm seeing a bunch of shills. One person commented, haters gonna hate. Can't wait for season 2. It's a better show than House of the Dragon. Is this just an account run by Jeff Bezos?
Yes. I do like this one here.
Prepare yourself.
It literally feels like the director said, and action. And then she like held the sword
I can see that. Yeah. Do you think that they're going to tone down Galadriel?
I don't know. It's Galadriel was obviously one of the larger bones of contention along with the casting for a lot of people. But I don't think you can. I don't think season 2 can correct course for something like this. Not in any meaningful way. You don't rebuild after something with the viewership tanking and the backlash of season 1. Now there can be shows that have mediocre season 1s that don't do great numbers that build off of that into like a really, really good season 2. But you don't go from bad to really, really good. You go from mediocre or uncared about to really, really good if it's done well.
I mean, you're going to have diminishing viewership for a second season regardless. So I don't know. But if you go to the Rings of Power subreddit, everyone is glazing it. Like, no one is admitting that anything was wrong with the first season, which is, you know, the first sign of trouble. And then if you go to the Lord of the Rings subreddit, everyone is saying that they hate it and then they're not going to watch it.
I wonder how much of Galadriel riding horses in slow motion there will be.
That one shot where they zoomed in on her face was just way too drawn out and terrible.
The other thing was I saw some shots in that trailer that definitely didn't look like the best CGI. And one of the things season 1 had going for it was, guys, season 1, when you count in the money it took to get the rights, cost $700 million to make. $700 million. And then people are like, oh, the CGI is so good. I'm like, yeah, it should be. It cost $700 million.
That's where the money is going from your 2-day shipping.
Yes.
So Amazon can do that. They can do whatever they want, and they don't have to care about how it's received.
I really do believe a lot of this is PR. Like much in the same way, which we'll get into with the Marvel stuff. I think that PR teams in these companies, especially companies the size of Amazon, have gotten very sophisticated with how they control the online discourse around their shows. What I actually am seeing there is like all of the upvotes is Amazon working like hell to even keep the ratio at half.
Do you think they're employing bots?
Probably.
To say all this positive stuff?
Yeah, I do.
Because it feels like season 1 didn't happen as I'm looking at all of these comments. Like, people are genuinely excited for this.
Well, I mean, they were never even really willing. They were never even really willing to give us final numbers after that initial post about how the first episode did so great. Right?
Another one said, as a lifelong Tolkien fan, I will watch anything from this universe. Season 1 was a bit lackluster. That's an understatement. And I'm looking forward to an improved season 2.
I applaud your optimism.
That faith. Yeah.
Well, you know what that is, though? That's somebody who doesn't care about the culture war.
Yes.
That's somebody who loves the source material, but don't care about the culture war. And I think that for the most part, people that operate in this space underestimate how large of a population that is, that just don't care about that stuff as much as we think they do.
That's the audience for the upcoming animated movie that's in December too. Like, those people exist, so they can still stay afloat even though the product is bad.
I do believe that when these things like long term, as these things are looked at in the future, House of the Dragon will be remembered infinitely more fondly. And the CGI in House of the Dragon season 2, the trailer for it's not good. There's plenty of shots in the season 2 House of the Dragon trailer that are just very mediocre. I'm like, yeah, it's a dragon, kind of, you know?
Well, people really liked House of the Dragon season 1. I didn't watch it.
And I'll tell you what, guys. I'm watching Hercules, The Legendary Journeys right now, and I don't care how bad the CGI is. It's still awesome. It's still awesome. That's the best part. That even though the CGI is bad, it's a lot of fun. How a lot of people are enjoying House of the Dragon, really loved season 1, and a couple of bad shots of the dragons isn't going to spoil it for anyone's. There's one shot of Matt Smith in the air, and it looks very blue screen. It's awesome.
One person said, I refuse to watch them destroy Lord of the Rings anymore. Season 1 was effing cringe. But another one said, everyone has a right to their opinion. I just don't see how this show captures the spirit of Lord of the Rings at all. Just seems like a generic fantasy show with a Lord of the Rings theme.
Correct.
Hate the big reveals of Mordor and Gandalf, although that's not confirmed yet. So far from the original, the intro animation is neat.
I think that, do you think that part of it is because it's taken IP, and that if they made the same show at the same budget and they tried something different, that maybe they could have gotten something more out of it? Like
Wait,
if they try to get away from IP and they made a generic fantasy show and called it Generic Fantasy Show.
They should do that.
They should just make a show called Generic Fantasy Show.
Not another generic
Look,
fantasy
Amazon
show.
has gazillions of your 2-day shipping money. They should make a $700 million show called Generic Fantasy Show.
But like, I think they just get a sick thrill out of ruining things for people. That's the only thing that could make sense to me, because it's obviously not going to make them money.
We're gonna one day we're gonna look back and there's gonna be all these pictures of Jeff Bezos when he was first starting Amazon, and all the books that he was that he sold the most of when he was just running Amazon as a book service, and that's what he's deciding to ruin now.
Actually, it was all for this. He built his empire just to make Rings of Power.
Well, remember, because he says
His baby.
my son said I would be in trouble if I didn't do right by Lord of the Rings.
Someone said maybe now that ChatGPT has gotten much better, they're able to craft a story that kind of makes sense without cringe dialogue. Another one said this is just corporate vomit, disappointed.
Yeah.
MCU presents Rings of Power, another shiny CGI fest. But then, everyone was replying saying, Lord of the Rings trilogy originally had CGI too, right?
If you don't understand the difference between all of the care that that Peter Jackson used to do in-camera effects in work, if you don't understand the difference between using CGI to supplement something and using CGI to be the whole thing, then I can't help you.
I'm just very excited to review this. Aren't you?
I guess if I was forced to make a decision and I was like, okay, guys, I'll either do Velma or Rings of Power, I should have just bitten the bullet and done Velma.
I feel like Velma was more entertaining than Rings of Power. Just
Actually,
because it's easier to...
Velma made me more angry, though. Rings of Power was awful, but in a way where I'm like, it's just really, really bad and desecrates the source material, whereas Velma felt mean-spirited to me.
Yeah.
Whereas Rings of Power felt mean-spirited and awful in another way.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy hate watching more than you do. For me, Rings of Power was just painful to get through because it was so boring.
Yeah.
I think that was the main problem with it, but
so bad.
I didn't dislike Morfydd Clark as Galadriel as much as you did.
Here's the other thing. I want them to draw a moratorium on strong, independent women unless they screen test them. Every woman who's going to play the strong, independent woman, not just Morfydd Clark, but the other lady from the show. Bronwyn. You need to do a screen test where they have to give a rousing speech. And if they can't give a convincing, rousing speech, you don't cast them. It was worse. What was the one we watched? We watched something recently. And it was Zendaya in Dune 2.
Yeah.
When she tries to give a rousing speech, and it just sounds like a girl like, I'm going to my room, Mom.
This one is
She's like, this is how they enslave us. I'm like, you literally sound like they just said, eat your vegetables for dinner.
Bronwyn's rousing speech was literally done at this volume.
Yes.
And wasn't convincing at all.
I
think that this season is just going to be like Galadriel's revenge against her toxic ex-boyfriend Sauron. It's going to be her reputation era.
She's got a Middle Earth live journal where she talks about her ex.
She listens to Taylor Swift breakup songs. Yeah.
They make Middle Earth headphones that have grass on the sides.
Not Middle Earth headphones.
Yes. Where do you get them?
Moss-covered
AirPods. Yes. That's a fantastic. Oh, there's a $20 there one from Boosted Yogi. It says, how can Amazon focus on a new season of Rings of Power when there's a genocide going on in Gaza?
I don't know how they sleep at night.
That is absolutely true, guys. How do they do it? We have no idea. And the guy playing Sauron is much of a... I actually thought the guy who played Sauron in season 1, who did not come back in season 2, hence the, shape-shifting.
The shape-shifting wig.
Yes. He just looks like generic Matt Smith.
I mean, don't you think they should have recast him for this?
Yes.
For season 2?
They did. Sauron, right? He's a different actor.
They did?
Guys, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I thought he was a different actor.
So Halbrand was a different actor?
Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, or is it the same actor? If it is the same actor, he looks completely different. But it looked like a different actor to me. It's the same guy. Okay. Point is,
yeah, it's the same.
The wig difference, yeah, because it looked like his real hair in season 1. Okay. Yeah. Well, he was fine in season 1. Whether he will be now, he just looks like generic Matt Smith to me with the wig because I've been seeing Matt Smith in House of the Dragon.
Yeah. I saw this interview that Morphed Clark did for press of Rings of Power, and she like bragged about how she has an unnerving face. Yep. Was that the point? Is to look unnerving because it worked?
So they're saying that the wig worked. Yeah, the point isn't that. The point is that the whole reveal at the end of season 1 felt like it should have been saved anyways.
Well, it was very predictable.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought they were. Hold on, I got to go check something out here.
What's up?
I thought they recast him. Why am I thinking that they recast him?
Looks like the same guy to me in a different hairdo. Somebody
said, is it the same? Is it the same dancing guy from Morbius? No, he does look like Dollar Store Matt Smith. Thank you.
This generic brand Matt Smith.
Kirkland brand. I'm gonna check for season 2.
Is it?
Let me check season 2 here. I really do hate the IMDb app.
For someone who uses it so
no,
often,
I like the app on phone, not on desktop. Hold on. No, looks like it's the same guy.
Yeah.
I thought somebody said that they recast him and they cast like an Indian actor as him in season 2.
Doesn't look like it.
I could have sworn that was what happened. I guess I'm wrong about that one. Either way, guys, I don't think anyone's all that excited about this.
No.
Oh, he also, I guess
except for the shills.
He shaved his 5 o'clock shadow. That's how he fooled me. He shaved his 5 o'clock shadow and got a wig.
All of the comments saying that they're excited about it, I think they're just hopefully people who don't pay attention to culture war discourse or their bots, because otherwise I cannot believe for a second. It's just like mega cope.
Yeah.
That they're like trying to feel excited for something so they can feel the same way they felt watching the trilogy. Because it's like a false promise. It's not going to happen.
I mean, a lot of it is, I guess it's like trying to talk yourself into liking something more than you do.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, I guess he wasn't recast. I thought he was, but I guess that's what it is. My own fault.
Let's read some super chats.
Let's do it.
Andrew Jacobs said, Mary, just want to say you're great at your job. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Shane H. Wilder said, Happy Taco Tuesday, Brett and Mary. Yanni.
Gavi Singh Shera cast as the original Sauron in the Rings of Power Season 2.
Wait.
Last year, what? Amazon Prime's massive Lord of the Rings series. I noticed how they didn't say massively successful Lord of the Rings series. The Rings of Power debuted on the streaming service. The central mystery of the first season was which character was secretly Sauron. And the second in command, blah, 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 blah. The series tries to throw several red herrings at the audience as a possible Sauron, including an unknown wizard with amnesia, a sorceress from the east, and the leader of the orcs.
It was pretty obvious that was Gandalf.
Yeah. Halbrand, played by Charlie Vickers, was revealed to be Sauron. The series has Halbrand give his influence, but not evil influence to... Okay, I'm going down further. What? So it says, according to our friends at Fellowship of Fans, Sauron's original form will be played by... Oh, so it's a different form, so a different actor. We'll probably see them in other scenes.
Okay.
So I was like thinking the right thing, and then when I saw that the actor looked different, I'm like, oh, he was recast, and then...
Doesn't look Indian.
Doesn't look Indian.
Not at all. Okay. Rhaegar Targaryen said, oh, Lord, them rangs of power. Valley Law said Shane Davis is the cute of the week.
Oh, is he? You get to be a whole cute of the week then.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Let's do one more.
John Barrett said anime is for virgins. Ask Ray Ray.
Rhaegar
Targaryen?
Does Ray Ray know that?
I don't know.
All right, let's hold off on the rest and let's come back after the fact. Let's go ahead and move on. We had a bunch of stuff to talk about in regards to Marvel, do we not? So first things first, Chris Hemsworth is out here simping left and right for Marvel. I guess it is fair to say that he has been an integral part of the Marvel universe for a very, very long time. So that at least makes sense. But he's pushing back on directors like Martin Scorsese, who have labeled Marvel franchises mere amusement park rides rather than actual cinema. They love using that word, cinema. And he's also pushing back at Marvel actors who work for the company and then dunk on them later. I find this interesting because he was kind of dunking on himself working on Marvel recently, talking about how Thor 4 went too far.
Yeah, he was acting like the script wasn't the problem. It's just that he didn't stick the landing. Like he got too caught up in doing improv or something.
He's too good for this world.
They gave him like a threatening call in the middle of the night where he had to make public statements in support of the MCU in response to this. So Chris Hemsworth says he was bothered by Martin Scorsese and Francis Ford Coppola's Marvel criticism as it, quote, felt harsh. Here's his full quote. It felt harsh, especially from heroes. It was an eye roll for me. People bashing the superhero space. Those guys had films that didn't work too. We all have. When they talked about what was wrong with superheroes, I thought, cool, tell that to the billions who watch them. Were they all wrong? Cinema going did not change because of superheroes, but because of smartphones and social media. Superhero films actually kept people in the cinemas during that transition, and now people are coming back. So they deserve a little more appreciation.
There's actually an interesting discussion to have about like where cinema would have gone if Iron Man and The Dark Knight didn't come out in 2008. Like,
okay, that's talking about an entirely different phase. Yeah. And Martin Scorsese and Coppola, they made their comments well after that.
But I'm saying that those movies led to, Iron Man 1 was the start of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the Dark Knight trilogy is what made DC realize that it would at least be viable to try and do their failed version of the DC Extended Universe.
It just feels like he's responding to the wrong criticism and doing the same, like circumventing the point that who was the Avengers director who was saying the same thing about social media. He was like, Gen Z has ADHD, so they can't appreciate my Marvel
I think it was
films.
The Russo brothers.
Was it both of them?
Was it the Russo brothers who said
like,
that?
They were on, like, they were huffing copium saying that social media is to blame for Marvel's failing movies. Yeah. Not, it couldn't possibly be that they did anything wrong. And then furthermore, Chris Hemsworth says he is irked by actors who sign on to star in a Marvel movie and then bash the MCU afterwards. Quote, it's like, they're films that are successful, put me in one. Oh, mine didn't work? I'll bash them. Look, I grew up on a soap opera, and it used to bother me when actors would talk about the show with guilt or shame. Humility goes a long way. One of the older actors on Home and Away said, we don't get paid to make the good lines sound good, but to make the bad ones work. That stuck with me. But hey, it's all a lesson.
I agree with that one 100%. Mainly
but
because,
who went on to bash the MCU after starring
I don't know who
in
he's
it?
talking about specifically for any of them in particular, like which ones he's talking about. Most of them, what I find, is after they do their films, they'll blame the fans when the movies don't do well.
Yeah, I've never seen them blame the actual creators.
I'm more on the side of him and saying, like, look, you've been given this opportunity. What I don't want you to do is pretend like you love this stuff all your life. Don't come out here and say like, oh, I've been reading comics since I was a kid. I don't care about that. And the average person doesn't care about that because everyone knows that that's fake now, right? When it's done right, it's real. When Ben Affleck says that he grew up loving Batman, right? You could tell that he had a deep love and respect for the character and he wanted to portray the character well. Whether he ever got that opportunity is an argument between the Snyder Bros and everyone else. That's fine. But there are actors who genuinely love playing those characters. That's good. But the actors who come in and pretend that so, and then when the movie doesn't do well, they bash the project after.
Who?
He's right. I'm just saying that if whoever they're talking about, he's right. You should have humility. And the same thing is very true of soap opera actors once they move on to more successful franchises, is that they will bash working in soaps because it's considered a lesser form of entertainment.
Okay, this was just weird for me because everyone is commenting like, he's so right about this, he's so right, but they're not pointing out the examples that he was referencing. I can't remember any example of a Marvel actor who
Anthony Hopkins hated doing Marvel, it says. He says they were pointless to act. Yeah, okay, so who is it? Anthony Hopkins and a couple other ones of the... I think Christian Bale might have as well.
Really?
Maybe. Yeah. So here it says actors who criticized their own Marvel superhero films. Anthony Hopkins, Terrence Howard just did that because he got fired as roadie because he wouldn't take he wanted a pay raise in Iron Man 2 and then they wouldn't give it to him, so they recast him. Ben Affleck is Daredevil. That doesn't count.
What did he say?
This is from the original Daredevil, so we're talking like back in the day. It says, he goes, the only movie I ever regret doing is Daredevil. It just kills me. I love that story, that character, and the fact that it got effed up the way it did stays with me. That doesn't matter because that wasn't the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That was before the MCU existed.
Someone in the chat said Mark Ruffalo.
Natalie Portman. Portman didn't appear in Thor Ragnarok, but the explanation for that is that the majority of the film takes place a place off Earth, the star's disillusion with the franchise has been brewing for some time. Reports suggest that the actress was disappointed that female director Patty Jenkins was let go from making Thor: The Dark World, but was contractually tied to the movie. So she wanted, I guess, the woman to make it, but she went on to do Wonder Woman anyways.
Other people are saying Scarlett Johansson. Did she?
Well, she criticized Marvel because of
that was because of their shady business practices.
She criticized Marvel because they released Wonder Woman day and date on Disney Plus, and it cut into her ability to make money.
Well, it went against the contract she signed.
Idris Elba has spent 8 months playing, Idris Elba says, in between takes, I was stuck there, with fake hair stuck on my head with glue, this effing helmet while they reset. And I'm thinking 24 hours ago, I was playing Nelson Mandela. Then there I was in this stupid harness with this wig and this sword and these contact lenses.
That's fair. Like, if you don't want to play roles like that, if you don't want to be in movies like that, why did you take the role?
Shouldn't have played a Norse god.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mickey Rourke did in Iron Man 2, Edward Norton in The Incredible Hulk, Hugo Weaving, Captain America, First Avenger. So it's not the stars, it's the ancillary characters that are doing so. But I think his point remains true. That have a little gratitude towards these franchises that likely paid you very, very well and got you further exposure, even if you're already very successful. I think he's right. I think a little bit of humility goes a long way to helping the public hate you less.
I thought that this might be targeted at John Leguizamo.
Oh, yeah.
Who recently trashed Marvel. He said another actor would have sued had they been dropped like he was from playing Vulture in the MCU. Quote, I hadn't signed a contract, but we had agreed. I think those are suable terms. The head of the studio called me up and said, this is terrible. I feel horrible. And would you give it up? And I did. I felt like if you didn't want me, I don't want to be there either. You know what I mean? They offered me some tiny scientist in the movie, and I was like, no, thank you, but no.
I got to address a comment says he called Black Widow Wonder Woman. No, what I said was that Patty Jenkins was attached to direct Thor: The Dark World, but went on to direct Wonder Woman. Unless I misspoke in a different part. But I was talking about her supposedly being part of Thor: Dark World, but then moving on to do Wonder Woman instead. Okay. That's what I was addressing. I don't know if Leguizamo's talking about that, but also Kirsten Dunst talking about the pay problems on Spider-Man back in the day.
Oh, well, that barely counts. Yeah. I don't know. Who is Chris Hemsworth subtweeting? It's up to you.
It's really, really funny to just look. I think he's right. I think being a little bit humble and having some gratitude towards getting to do these roles. But these interviewers also like poke and prod at them and want them to say stuff like this, and the actors just don't realize how they come off.
Yeah, I agree.
I would like to see these actors be like, look. I appreciate the opportunity and I want to do this character justice, but please stop pretending like you love these characters your whole life.
Well, Rachel Zegler followed your advice. She said it's a job.
For which one?
In Shazam.
Yes, that's perfect.
It's just a job at the end of the day.
She should have done the same thing for Snow White.
But nobody gave her hate for that.
Yeah.
Nobody
Exactly.
cared.
That's what it should be. From what I remember, Keith David, who played Spawn in the Spawn the Animated Series, said that to this day is his favorite role that he's ever done. That's cool. Like, I like hearing stuff like that. It's an animated show from like 1997, and he still has like a lot of love for it. And I think that's really awesome. And it actually made me more interested to continue watching it after I learned that.
These are just some more funny headlines. Tyrese Gibson wants to return for Morbius 2. Quote, "I'm waiting on the call. I would be honored to dance with Daniel Espinosa and the crew again." He's just going to be waiting until he dies. That's never going to happen. Sorry, Tyrese.
Apparently, I did misspeak at one point and said Wonder Woman instead of Black Widow.
Okay.
So, my mistake, guys. I spoke too soon. The other thing, this happened the other day. What was it? I said that Randy Johnson played for the Minnesota Twins when I meant to say Seattle Mariners. It happens when you're talking, doing something like this, trying to do multiple things at the same time. All right. And yeah, keep wishing Tyrese and then keep running from that.
They also changed the title of the Agatha Coven of Chaos show. They changed it to Agatha the Lying Witch with a Great Wardrobe.
Sounds awful.
Why?
You know what it is?
Just why?
They underestimated the fact that they screwed up and didn't realize that having a song go viral, the stupid "It Was Agatha All Along" song, does not a series make.
Also, a chief brand officer replied to that announcement and was like, "What?" Like, they don't even know what's going on.
Yeah. It's
What's wrong?
No, I was double checking something here. Yeah, I have no interest to watch it. So Agatha's only popular because of the song. It Was Agatha All Along, or whatever it was, and they thought that meant they could turn it into a show. And I don't think anybody actually wants to watch it, much like Echo.
Not Elizabeth Olsen?
No.
Like, people want to see her.
I guess, but she's not the star of it.
I know.
She's not Agatha, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, fair.
So, all right, but it's not just that, guys. There's more stuff going on at Marvel. This is very, very interesting. So, as you know, Captain America Brave New World is going through some issues right now because there is a leaker. That's an actual term these days. A leaker who's getting in trouble because they leaked footage from the movie that they were not supposed to have access to, and now Marvel is looking to subpoena an Instagram account to get the information on this person.
There are currently theories getting circulated as to who this is, but yeah, Marvel is trying to force Instagram to reveal the identity of this anonymous leaker who goes by the name Can We Get Some Toast? I'm almost certain we've used his leaks on the show before.
Possibly.
But whoever he is, they're also, like, they think it might be run by Disney. They think that Disney could be behind the account. It's also could be the same person as another account that goes by My Time to Shine.
Yeah.
They play good cop, bad cop with fans, and they could be run by a professional social media PR company at the request of Disney or Marvel, basically to artificially drum up hype for these movies that most people don't care about as much these days.
Yeah.
You know, put them in the headlines.
Well, I mean, that's going to be a hard sell because you don't have Chris Evans back as Captain America.
I just think I don't think they're run by Disney. I think if Disney ran a fake leaker account, they would name it something extremely obvious like Disney Leaks or Marvel Leaks because they're just stupid.
And then for some reason they just get away with it for years and nobody wonders why.
Yeah. So last week, new footage of Captain America Brave New World appeared online, due to be released in 2025. The allegedly leaked material posted in an Instagram story by well-known scooper clearly has Disney and Marvel concerned. Through a DMCA subpoena, the movie companies aim to find out who is behind the social media account. I bet it's somebody in the chat.
I would love that.
Anyone gonna out themselves?
I mean,
volunteer as tribute?
It is interesting to point out that, look, if you're monetized and you have a blue check mark, you're tied to a real person or company, somebody's going to get outed here.
Well, it could be someone who knows a guy.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of impossible to stop.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying is like just because that guy will get outed doesn't mean he will reveal whoever gave him the footage.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know why this one elicited a response from them.
I did see
because these leaks come out all the time.
I did see the clip. It was just of Captain America, which is really just Sam Wilson.
Well, we can't show it on the channel.
Like flying. So I did see the clip, and it was nothing special at all.
You know what? The only identifying information we have about this guy is he goes by they them pronouns. So that should narrow it down quite a lot.
That makes sense. This is not the first time Marvel has gone after leakers. In 2023, a script for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was leaked on Reddit, and this was rectified after a copyright infringement notice was submitted to Google, with the script immediately taken down. A more innocent leak had happened recently with the Brave New World and its tie-in with those McDonald's toys. I remember that. The Happy Meal toys, which are now available at McDonald's restaurants, include a toy for Red Hulk, which is all but confirming that Harrison Ford's Thunderbolt Ross will eventually do that. So that's really, really funny because, like, how many times has this movie date been moved? So McDonald's is like, F it, we're just going to release the toys now.
Yeah.
Yep. Because Brave New World has been delayed like 30,000 times.
Well, maybe it'll be delayed again.
I just, I like the story better that all of these companies, because you remember when we were talking about 6 months or a year ago when the dude who worked at Max was like having employees write mean comments to people.
Yeah, I forget his name now, but
does anybody remember that?
He started an anonymous account to argue with people who didn't like, what was it?
It was like the Perry Mason show or something.
I totally forget what it was
It
called.
was like a couple of but it was a bunch of shows that nobody was watching. It wasn't like big HBO stuff. It was like these vanity projects that nobody was paying any attention to.
But he was like using lower employees in the company to do it for him. He would like text them the prompts for his clapbacks. Pathetic.
Yeah, and I'm just picturing, the quintessential stuffed shirt Hollywood coke snorting executive who's just sitting there, harping on his enemies through lower level employees who just want to get a foot in the business.
Another theory is that these accounts are backed by Ike Perlmutter or Victoria Alonso. So they both arguably have grudges with Disney and Marvel and or with Kevin Feige. So why not get back at Marvel by leaking everything? However, would they bother to stoop that low, or would they even care, is the question. Or what could be happening is possibly disgruntled employees at Marvel leaking info, which I think is much more likely.
They're just mad.
I don't know. It would be funnier if it were.
I mean, maybe the idea is like, look, it's one of these people who works for the VFX houses, and they're just sick of being asked, like, can you shoot 37 shots of Sam Wilson coming in the window? Flying, and they're like
they all look like shit anyways.
And then they go and leak the footage because Marvel has a stranglehold on the CGI part of Hollywood right now.
Honestly, these leaker accounts do more for Marvel than they realize, so they should be paying them.
Maybe it is Victoria Alonso. Maybe it's Victoria Alonso still in contact with the people at these VFX houses that she was so bad at working with when she was in charge over there at Marvel. And she's like, hey, can you get me some shots? I want to leak them so that Marvel will have the piss taken out of them.
So like Kathleen Kennedy is her insider.
Maybe it's Kathleen Kennedy. She's like, everybody still kind of like doesn't hate Marvel as much as they hate me. I want to make them hate Marvel as much as they hate me.
Loves it.
That would be great. I'd be down for that. I guess it could be, I mean, like, is it possible that it's somebody like Kevin Feige trying to drum up interest that isn't there?
Kevin Feige is behind the account.
Yeah.
He has way too much free time on his hands.
The logo's just like the Kevin Feige hat. I should have
No
known.
one will know.
No one will know.
How will they know?
We'll have to see where it goes, but I don't see, like, do you think we'd ever actually get the information on this? I guess if it was a court filing, it would end up being a matter of public record.
But that means they're trying to force Meta to give
user info,
personal info on their users to corporate entities, which is worrying.
So that it's people that can be revealed, so that wouldn't this fall under some type of journalist?
Seems wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like, just because I'm not a mainstream journalist doesn't mean I'm not a journalist. I can be just as corrupt as the rest of the people in the media.
Yeah, they're just more transparent about it.
They're like, look, I'm perfectly fine with these leaks as long as I can monetize it on my channel. That does seem risky, though.
He has paying subscribers on his Instagram, so that does fall into criminal behavior.
Yep. So I don't know who it is.
I'm pro chaos, though.
All right, let's go ahead and do some super chats.
Okay, Shane H. Wilder said, to get an idea of the noir genre, I suggest The Lady from Shanghai, Double Indemnity, and Angels with Dirty Faces. And John Baird said, I don't talk to Raymond since he went anime. Are you talking about Raymond G. Stanley Jr.?
Is that true?
Is he an anime guy? He's a weeb? I wasn't aware of that.
Let's do 3 more.
All right. Rhaegar Targaryen said Nicolas Cage should have been in Rings of Power.
I would, if they recast Sauron as Nicolas Cage in this
They
second
could not
season,
pay him.
That would be amazing.
I know they spent $700 million on the first season, but they couldn't pay him.
And he would deserve at least $700 million himself just to do that role.
Greg Duvier said, "Damn it, Harrison."
It's he misspoke. It's damn it, Hardison.
Yes. No Diggity said, "A donation for yesterday's hilarity. I was screaming Laurel with you while I was listening in the car. I finished the show at home on TV and heard Yanny. Freaked me out, and it went back to Laurel."
That is creepy.
It means you have young ears.
There are more things
right?
in heaven and earth, Horatio.
I think it was just the, it depends on the speaker you're listening to. It depends on the video you click on.
No, what it is it depends on if you're right or if you're wrong. Because the answer is Laurel, and anybody that heard Yanny is just wrong.
If you hear Laurel, it'll be in a lower frequency.
No.
I swear I heard Yanny. Okay. I swear on my life.
All right, let's hold off on the rest and let's come back after the fact. Time to talk about Vitali.
Yes, there is a Kick streamer who is causing chaos in society right now because as his gimmick, he is catching predators. And he made headlines the other day because he exposed a Hollywood producer and entrapped him trying to meet up with underage minors in the wild. He was a writer on Space Jam and other movies, but this was obviously going viral because Hollywood is filled with predators and we just don't know their names until Kick streamers decide to expose them. But he's been teaming up with celebrities and other YouTubers. He was doing this stream with Ty Dolla $ign the other day.
Yep.
I can't believe that these people want to associate with streamers like this.
Literally says Ty Dolla $ign and Vitali confront a child predator, give him a haircut, and throw a grenade at him.
Let's take a look at the video where they confront this guy. His name is Herschel Weingrod, and he's producer and writer in Hollywood for a long time now.
Let me pull it back up here so we make sure that we got the right one here.
Oh.
There we go.
Your name?
Oh, fuck.
What's your name?
Who are you?
What's your name?
Who are you?
Why are you suing my fucking daughter? What's your name? What is your name?
Boris. My name is Boris.
Boris. What's your name? Shake my hand.
What's the problem?
Why are you suing my daughter? You know how old she is?
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
No.
What the fuck you thought was gonna happen here?
Nothing. We're gonna have a pizza. I don't know.
Pizza. Yeah, you don't know? How old is she?
Brad.
You know how old she is?
I matched with her. She was 23.
23. Is that what the conversation looked like?
You remember the text messages? She was 23 on a
23.
dating site.
On a dating site?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, she was 23 on
How old is she?
site. I have no idea.
Lila, how old are you?
I'm sorry. She was 23 on a dating site. All we've done is
So
talk.
she didn't tell you how old she was?
She did.
She did?
Yeah.
How old is she?
She said she was 15.
How did she tell you how old she actually is?
She said she was 15.
She said she's 15. Why are you here? Why are you sitting here?
I'm just having a
With a fucking 15-year-old?
pizza.
Piece of pizza with a fucking 15-year-old.
Not pizza.
not
You think that's okay?
Not pizza.
I think it's not against the law.
It's not against the law.
No.
Is that all you spoke about to her?
We've just been talking.
Really?
Yeah, we've been talking and flirting. It's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
Where are you going?
It's totally not
I
a big
ordered
deal.
Pizza, I'm gonna go.
Okay, have a seat. Have a seat.
Why?
I'll sit with you. I'll eat pizza with you. We're just having pizza, right?
Sorry.
Sit right here.
Sorry.
Sit right here.
Sorry.
Where? I don't know. Whoa, excuse me, sir. Excuse me.
You said you wanted a kiss, touch, and lick, whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's just weird. I don't understand what people.
So you're a pedophile trying to meet a 15-year-old. Oh shit! I'm sorry, it's not a boy, it's a girl.
They're
Whoa.
shooting powder guns at him while he flees the scene.
Yeah, you are.
Wait.
We need to hear audio.
Look at this guy. Look. Clown. All right, let's go. Let's go. Yeah, I'm gonna say.
What are you doing? It's like.
I'm like, we can't grab him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't grab him.
Nope.
You can't do that.
Let him go. Let him go. Vitali,
You trying to meet a 15-year-old.
Trying to meet a 15-year-old.
Okay, so what do you guys want to do in this case?
In this case?
Filming, or you try to arrest him, or?
Yeah, the cops are on the way.
Yeah.
Well, just let everybody know in your building at $1,000 Windsor, there's a pedophile that lives here.
Yeah, well, you guys have it on camera and everything, right?
Okay.
All evidence, man.
I guess if you guys come daytime at the office, they will have you whatever information you guys want. You know,
Let's go. We got another one to catch.
Yeah, so people were saying it's not confirmed that it's the same guy, Herschel Weingrod, but I don't know where he pulled the fake name Boris.
Yeah.
Like when he was asked. People have shown comparisons. It's almost certainly the same guy, which is not really a surprise for people watching because we know that Hollywood is filled with creeps, obviously. But I think they did end up getting him arrested in this sting operation, which is controversial because some people say that it actually hurts the chances that law enforcement have at getting them convicted.
When a third party is interfering.
Yeah, and like people have thrown the same criticism at someone like Alex Rosen, and he has his own like Catching Predators series that he does for a living. And, you know, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. The question I have is like, should we trust that Vitali, this streamer, has good intentions? I don't know.
So look, the criticism that I saw is like, look, you're using it to bolster your platform and grow your channel. I always kind of equate it back to like the same idea around the idea of capitalism, right? Which is like, I don't really care about your intention, your selfish intentions, as long as the outcome is good for society, or in this case, as long as you offer in capitalist nature, you offer a product that is superior. In this case, doing something that is inherently positive for society, if there's a personal benefit, is that a bad thing?
No, I mean, I don't think it's inherently a bad thing, but
was that actually his daughter?
No.
Okay.
No, they're using actors like Chris Hansen. I mean, it's not Chris Hansen. No. You know, he's no Chris Hansen, but he's still doing something positive for society, question mark. But like, he started doing prank videos in the early 2010s, and he was famous for this video called Miami Zombie Attack Prank. And, you know, prank YouTubers are some of the worst people in society, but not as bad as Hollywood producers. It seems like he was just menacing a bunch of homeless people and using them for content.
Which says that has its own problems.
Dressed up as a zombie and traveled to the poor neighborhoods in Miami to scare random bystanders. And he would use hidden cameras to like harass homeless people. He released a video called Extreme Homeless Man Makeover back in 2013. And since then he like started an OnlyFans, and he's been in porn, and you know, he's clearly not he's not like the upstanding moral citizen that we hope he would be, but an unlikely hero. If he's taking down predators inadvertently.
I mean, if you were to carry that out to its logical conclusion, especially with like conservative purity testing, you'd be like, well, you performed in porn, which is notorious for trafficking and its mistreatment of minors. So how at what point?
Well, on OnlyFans, I suppose you can circumvent criticisms like that because he's just making these videos on his own.
If they don't get, I saw somebody in the chat say like, if they don't get prosecuted, it's a fail. Like,
yeah, kind of. I mean, I've seen that Alex Rosen follows up on the stories that he follows up on his sting operations and like tells his audience whether or not those people got convicted, and he has gotten plenty of people convicted before.
And
but he has a more organized system of how he does these things,
which is probably why people don't feel like it's as self-serving.
It's self-aggrandizing what Vitali is doing, right?
Even if the sad thing is like, look, even if they don't get prosecuted, a lot of people will say like, it's good to just expose them so that the world knows that these people are evil, because they are.
Right.
But if the goal here is to actually put them away in jail, then perhaps the Rosen method is the more beneficial one.
Looks like this guy has been arrested several times. First, he invaded the field during the 2014 FIFA World Cup. Then he was arrested for trespassing 2 years later, climbing the Hollywood sign.
We were literally just talking about this when we were in LA, like how big of a deal
how
that
easy would
is.
it be to like climb the Hollywood sign. And then in 2020 he was arrested in Egypt after climbing the pyramids. And then in 2020 he was also arrested and later charged for aggravated battery in Miami after allegedly tackling a female jogger and striking her multiple times in the head and chest. So he doesn't seem like the most upstanding individual, but maybe he's the hero we didn't know we needed.
And a lot of people have deep frustration with the slow movement of law enforcement and just how difficult it is to bring people who do stuff like this to justice. There was a stream very recently where a cop was mad with them because he said you're going to screw up our ability to prosecute cases like this. And then people were like outing the cop and saying like this dude's evil and stuff like that. It's very natural for the public to get frustrated because of how vile the thing they're talking about is.
I don't watch Alex Rosen's videos because the frustrating part of it is he is constantly doing sting operations on people who have already been convicted and sometimes like had served long prison sentences for their offenses against children. And they're out just living their lives. That's the blackpilling thing for me, is no matter what you do, this is kind of just an ongoing problem you can't really solve just by making a bunch of viral videos.
And also, look, this is LA. Like, if it's LA and New York, they're not going to press charges anyways.
No, they're not.
They're just going to release them because the people get arrested and then they get let off with no charges because that's the way that our legal system seems to run in these deep blue states, or at least these deep blue metropolitan cities.
Yeah. And then in a separate video, Vitali caught a predator in a public bathroom with what he thought was 3 underage boys. They were also decoys. And then he also did a stream with Bobby Shmurda where they caught an illegal immigrant trying to meet up with 3 underage boys as well.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy how many like celebrities are attaching themselves to this. It's I guess to them, it's like the perfect blend of good press and virality.
Yeah. But I feel this wouldn't be allowed on a platform like Twitch or YouTube, right? That would be against TOS. Doing sting operations. Because I know Alex Rosen, he puts all of his content on Rumble.
So they're going to have to deport that guy in the third video there.
Yeah.
It's crazy because like...
Do you have the video of...
Bobby Shmurda?
Well, of the Vitali caught a predator in...
Public bathroom?
A public bathroom?
Yep. I do.
That one was crazy.
Here we go.
Because the guy is like actively trying to run away.
Who is it? What the fuck? Yo, what the fuck is wrong with you? Get the... Are you fucking kidding me? You're meeting a 3 fucking... Come outside. Are you fucking kidding me? You got caught in the act? Oh, hell no.
They're in a laundromat?
Go over there.
Look. Yeah, you fuck. You're right. You gotta run, motherfucker. You gotta run. You're a bitch.
Don't walk into me.
Call the cops.
You're cruising for bruising, brother.
You fucking got help him. You got caught with 3 underage fucking kids.
Like he's calling the cops on himself.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know that.
Yep.
But yeah, like the collabs that he's doing with these rappers and all these other personalities, it's kind of surprising they want to be associated with it.
Well, I imagine that like when you see something like this and they're like, oh, Your Honor, I caught them in the act, and then I shot them with a
powder gun.
Yeah, with a powder gun. I don't feel like
doesn't
that helps
hold
your
up
case.
well.
No.
But I think maybe the rappers are associating with this because of the Diddy situation.
Yeah.
And like the Drake situation.
Yeah. And the Drake situation
has his own allegations. That's a whole separate can of worms, but we haven't really talked about that much. I just thought it was publicly very well known that Drake had an inappropriate friendship with Millie Bobby Brown when she was like 13. I just thought everyone knew that. I'm like confused as to why.
In a world of Drakes and Diddy's, be a Henry Cavill and
In a world of Drakes and Diddy's, be a Bobby Shmurda.
Yes, or a Henry Cavill who puts like the firm boundaries on your working relationship with your co-stars.
Yeah, and just practice the Mike Pence rule and don't be a creep.
And Mike Pence just got dunked on by Jennifer Lawrence.
Really?
Yes. This was ridiculous because I was reading this and I'm just like,
why is she talking about Mike Pence?
She was dunking on Mike Pence at the GLAAD Awards. I'm like, what year is it?
Huh?
Yeah, I'll play you this clip.
I think maybe Jennifer Lawrence wasn't caught up and she just thinks Trump is still in office.
That's very, maybe it's like all that weight loss and plastic surgery kind of melted her brain a little bit. It could be.
The Ozempic melted her brain.
Yeah, no. Jennifer Lawrence roasts Mike Pence at the GLAAD Media Awards.
Is it because of all that talk about him supporting like conversion therapies?
Yes, yeah. She says, while presenting the Vito Russo Award to musician Orville Peck on Saturday, May 11th in New York, the actress says, "I love the gay community. In fact, I was in love with the homosexual. He was my first love." Well, that's pandering.
Okay.
I tried to convert him for years, but now I know conversion therapy doesn't work. Did you hear me, Mike Pence? I said conversion therapy isn't real. She continued, cupping her mouth for effect. A rep for Pence did not respond. Yeah, here's the clip.
Please welcome Academy Award winning actress
Jennifer
Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, I'm not listening to an 8-minute clip of this. No way.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I don't care.
But the point is like, what year is it? It's 2024.
Someone should tell her.
Yes.
Maybe we can.
All right, so let's go to Super Chat. So let's hang out.
Marco said, "Hey, Brett and Mary, leftover pizza that is heated in a conventional oven is fire, huh?"
I never reheat my pizza in a
I like cold
conventional
pizza.
oven. So I used to reheat my pizza in the microwave. Now I do so, but for less, so it becomes room temperature when I reheat it.
That's messed up.
It's awesome.
That's insane. Corey Anderson said, "Magopolis sounds amazing. Is it a BTS documentary?"
Yes.
Yep. We're just going to go with that. Drewish AF said, "No apple pie and hummus yesterday. The wife made buffalo chicken dip instead. Thanks for the kind words. Now take my money. Christ is king, y'all."
Well, thank you. And that sounds good as well. Buffalo chicken dip.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Taking a baby to a Swift concert is already
child abuse."
Child abuse. Okay. Corey Anderson said, "Just because you have a micro blank doesn't mean you can be in a woman's pole dancing class." Someone should tell him that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's important. Waffle Sensei said, "How do you know if you're not important as an actor? Brett doesn't remember your name."
Who didn't I remember? Who did I forget today? I did mention
that just
somebody,
proves how unimportant they are.
And I couldn't think of who the actor was.
You don't even remember forgetting them.
Look, there's a lot of actors that I don't know. I have a weird pocket of knowledge that I don't always draw from. There are times when I forget a lot of ones. For instance, last week when we were talking about the actor from Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, I mentioned that he was in an episode of Republic of Doyle with Alan Hocko, and it was a special episode because it had Russell Crowe in it, and for some reason, I couldn't remember Russell Crowe's name in the moment, and that haunted me all night after the show.
Waffle Sensei, Sup My Dude, said they need to stop defiling Tolkien's name and completely remove the Lord of the Rings lore from Rings of Power. Make it about a mystical bathtub ring or something. Not gonna happen.
Reminds me of one of my favorite lines from the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie from 1990 when Charles is in April O'Neil's house and the turtles are there and they're hiding, and she's like, "Can you hand me a towel?" And she realizes that like one of the turtles is hanging in the shower to avoid them, and she screams and goes, "I just don't want you to see my unsightly bathtub ring." As a child, I had no idea what that meant. It's like, what the fuck is a bathtub ring? And then because it was dirt. It was New York in the 90s. It was dirty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I just think aren't they in a state of like sunk cost fallacy here? You spent nearly $1 billion on the first season.
Yeah.
You have to continue. You literally have to keep going.
5 seasons in a movie.
Or wasn't that part of the original contract? Like in order to buy those rights, they had
to do a certain amount of seasons.
I think it was like 3 or maybe even 5.
Proof that Jennifer Salke doesn't know how to negotiate.
Boosted Yogi said, how can Amazon focus on a new season of Rings of Power when there's a genocide going on?
We did that one.
Fear Me It's Bree said, I hate that they say that Sauron was trying to be good, but got tempted right back to evil. I miss villains that were truly evil, not misunderstood.
Well, yeah, that's the weird modern desire to like explain away a villain's bad behavior by having bad parents or something lame like that. Just be evil.
Well, I don't like when it's made to make you sympathize with the villain, but it is true that everyone who does evil things is doing it for some perceived good reason, right?
The idea
no one just does evil for the sake of evil.
The idea should be that the bad guy is the hero in his own story. That doesn't mean his reasoning is good.
Yeah, but I feel like you can portray the fact that he feels he's justified without making him a sympathetic character.
Yeah.
Without giving a villain a sob story.
There's a lot of examples of that you're right, it's not necessary.
Alfred LaRock said, you have to rock the Josie outfit as well, not just a red wig. Something like her Riley Gaines Spaces thumbnail. Guarantee we'd crush crisis parties for that level of motivation.
I don't know what
I
that
have
looks like.
no idea what that means. Does she have like an outfit she wears, like she never changes her outfit like a cartoon character?
That's kind of cool.
I don't know. Rhaegar Targaryen said, you mean you're not interested in knowing what twisted, notorious animal abuser Cruella de Vil? Or why Scar despised his brother so much he murked him and took over his throne with goose-stepping hyenas?
No, I don't. And I didn't watch... I actually watched Cruella, like...
Emma Stone?
He was playing here at some point at the castle, and I was
like by choice.
No, somebody else was watching it, and I was like working around the area, so I would catch bits and pieces of it, and every time I would walk by, I would physically cringe from what I was seeing.
Yeah, I don't know why anyone would watch that.
I mean, I don't really, like, there's a difference between interesting villain dynamics. Like, there's an interesting story to be told about the abusive relationship between Harley Quinn and the Joker. That's not the same thing as incorporating them into a story where then, I guess Joker is that example right now, right? Like, why did the Joker end up being the Joker? Oh my gosh, he had a bad relationship with his mom and society cast him out. Wah!
Well, they didn't, for what it's worth, they didn't blame his dad.
That's always good, right? Well, dad was yeah, mommy issues. Mommy issues far more persuasive than daddy issues.
I think that e-girls and e-boys everywhere would love to see the movie about the Joker and Harley Quinn done faithfully to the comics, right? Like, but it seems like they're just not willing to go there. It's too problematic.
Yeah.
Rhaegar Targaryen, Brewmaster Monk said the 15-year-old deserves legal repercussions for lying about her age on a dating website. That is not a real 15-year-old.
She's not an actual 15-year-old.
She was a decoy. But, if that's actually how it went down, he is the one who is the adult in the situation and is therefore responsible for making sure that he is not on a date with a child. Shane H. Wilder said, good on them for catching these POSs, but it does seem like a bit of a look at me and what I'm doing. Do the good without seeking the glory.
Like, there's some posturing in it and some bravado, but it's part of the brand, It is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, he's a fame seeker. If you're a former prank YouTuber, it's just in you. Like, it's genetic. Hiroshima Otaru said, so she tried to conversion therapy a gay dude?
Well, she said it was back in the day, so she didn't understand that it didn't work.
Well, maybe that just means that she was trying to seduce him, right? Not trying to electrocute him. That you would hope.
I'm gonna go.
She was like tasing him, trying to see if he would turn straight.
She's she's a little bit nuts, I guess. Then let's see, Jennifer Lawrence. I bet you TMZ has the edited. Yep, she does. TMZ always has the edited clip. Here it is, right here.
Hmm?
Hi, gays!
The pandering is real.
I love seeing so many humans who can top their field while still being power bottoms. Not to mention what it feels like to be in a room with this many men and not need mace.
Okay.
I love the gay community. In fact, I was in love with a homosexual. It was my first love. I tried to convert him for years, but now I know conversion therapy doesn't work. Here?
This is like a bonus cringe of the day.
It is a bonus cringe of the day.
Me, Mike Pence.
What?
I said conversion therapy isn't real. Even though I know you think it worked on you. You know.
Isn't that like a backhanded insult?
Yes. I mean, they just... They're not... I don't even know it.
It is weird how we just got transported back in time to 2017.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't that fake anyway? Wasn't the report about him supporting conversion therapy just totally made out of...
She's like, I got some of these... Imagine she's running it by like the people in charge. She's like, and I got some great Mike Pence jokes. They're like, what?
I bet someone ghost wrote it for her.
That was stunning and brave.
Yes, very stunning, very brave. Shane H. Wilder said, microwaving pizza. What is wrong with you, Brett?
I'm not going to put it back in the oven if I'm just looking to eat it the next
Okay,
day.
eat
for
cold
lunch.
pizza like a man. Eat cold pizza.
It is semi-cold.
It's better.
It is semi-cold.
Rhaegar Targaryen said, in this house, we microwave pizza. I didn't know you guys felt so strongly about
There
this.
you go.
Oh, $20 from Waffle Sensei. Sorry you missed this. He said, some people do evil for the sake of evil. A hero and a villain have the same origin story, which is pain. A hero saves the world from the pain that he's been wrought, and a villain projects his pain on the world.
That is a very eloquent turn of phrase, and I would agree.
I still disagree with the principle that anyone does something evil just because they like love evil. I don't
narratively
agree
there's a reason for that in certain types of storytelling.
Like if it's a story, of course,
Yes.
they're not a real person, but in terms of what happens in real life, I don't think.
Who do people think of as like real life evil supervillains these days? Bill Gates?
Jeffrey Epstein.
I'm trying to think of somebody where like you could actually talk about their motives and wonder how they got to. A lot of people look at somebody like Bill Gates and all the things that he does with his foundations and look at him as evil, buying up farmland.
That's the point. He doesn't think he's evil.
Exactly.
He thinks he's really doing good for the world.
I don't believe
in
that
some twisted
Jeffrey
way.
Epstein ever thought that he was doing something good for the world. I think that's just evil.
No. I guess he's not around for us to ask him what his reasons were.
So
But-
like, I think more of like or I guess any a lot of people would argue that weapons manufacturers would be considered a form of evil.
Well, sure.
And it's like you look at all the people. It's like, hello, Mrs. Raytheon. Like, what are your feelings on?
I think they perceive a good that they're going after, even if it's totally selfish.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that would still apply to someone like Jeffrey Epstein, right? Even if he's going after something selfish, it's something to benefit himself. John Barrett said pancakes are superior to tarred waffles.
What?
Straya? Thank you for your Australian money.
I have recently I've been eating breakfast food more regularly, and just like always, my faith in French toast has been, strengthened. I still get French toast, and it's still superior to both waffles and pancakes. I'm sorry.
I had a French toast casserole the other day, and it was amazing.
That sounds amazing.
Also,
wait, what the hell else is in a French toast casserole?
I don't know. It's basically just overnight French toast.
Okay.
And the waffle breakfast sandwiches at Sheetz are bussin'.
Are they?
Bussin' for real.
That good?
Yeah.
Like your hair got curly and you got a fade?
Yeah. Mark Reyes said, I usually eat the pizza cold, but if I got time, then I put it in the oven.
There you go.
The superior
or
pizza
you could
is
do
cold.
the real thing and just eat it all at once and finish it.
I know there are people out there that order a pizza just to put it in the fridge and eat it later cold.
Fair enough.
And they're aristocrats.
All right, chat. We're just hanging out then. Look, now they're arguing about it. French toast is a side with pancakes, though. I don't ever eat them at the same time.
That doesn't seem right.
I don't ever eat them at the same time.
We're resurrecting the old debate of PCC.
Rhaegar Targaryen says, what kind of monster eats cold pizza?
Just for kicks, I looked up what national holidays are today.
What are they?
One of them is National Buttermilk Biscuit Day.
Okay.
Another one is National Decency Day.
Okay.
And National Dance Like a Chicken Day.
Those are awful.
And then tomorrow is going to be...
Well, you probably like National Decency Day.
I like decency.
Decency's good.
Yeah, I think we need to bring back the Karens.
Okay.
We'll talk more about that.
Like, what can you tell me what exactly that means? When it says National Decency Day, does it describe what the hell that means?
It says it was... Oh no, let me see how it was founded. It celebrates the basic standard of civility that every American deserves.
Oh, so it's the day for those people that have "Be Kind" stickers on their car?
I hope not. Not those people. Decency is about active listening, better understanding, and compassion.
Okay, well, if you ever run into somebody who has like a "Be Kind" sticker on their car
They're
or
the worst
worse
person
in their
ever.
yard, you're about to meet the worst person on planet Earth. Most likely.
Also, tomorrow is National Slushy Day and National Chocolate Chip Day.
I'm kind of
for
down
your
with
information.
National Slushy
But
Day.
you can't mix those two things. That would be horrendous.
Hiroshima Utaru says, "Do you guys put peanut butter on pancakes?"
I think I might have done that with a waffle.
I've done it with waffles. I've never done it with pancakes.
No. I usually just have them plain. I don't even put syrup on them.
What the hell does active listening mean?
It's like something that we don't do when we're podcasting.
So it's like when you're like, I guess you're like talking to someone and you're engaged in the conversation.
I guess it just means you're listening to someone and you're not coming up with what you want to say.
Okay,
before
the opposite
they
of
stop
podcasting.
talking, which is the exact opposite of what we do on this show.
Okay, I mean that's 110% true. One of the hardest things
I guess we're indecent.
One of the hardest things about doing something like this is blending both listening to what somebody else is saying so that you can expand on what it is and not forgetting what the hell you were going to say in the first place, which is what happens.
Balance.
It does happen.
Shane H. Wilder said, "But are they bussin' for real, no cap?"
Yes.
I was thinking it might be capping a little bit, but the waffle sandwiches actually are bussin' for real, no cap.
What's funny about that when I mentioned like they have the fade with the curly hair,
the broccoli hair.
I'll never forget back in the day, like there was like a magazine in like a barber shop where I was getting a haircut and said like ways to like hair to not use for certain types of haircuts because not every style, not every type of hair works with every haircut.
Yeah.
And it was like if you're getting a fade or you have an undercut, you cannot have curly hair. Doesn't work. It looks like broccoli on top of your head. And then
but that's the goal.
And then like 7 or 8 years later, literally everyone
wants the broccoli.
Everyone with curly hair was like, I'm taking it. It's mine.
Now the white guys who don't have curly hair, they're getting perms.
Gotta get it.
Rhaegar Targaryen said, "Yes, caps be bussin', but have you heard of The Wire?"
You should go and watch The Wire.
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it.
The Wire right now.
Me personally, or everyone watching?
Everyone should go watch The Wire.
Because I still have to watch Firefly. I have things to do.
How many episodes in are you?
Literally just got past the pilot.
Okay.
So far, so. Shane H. Wilder said, "What's worse, someone with a Be Kind sticker or a Coexist sticker?" Coexist every time. Coexist.
I feel like
It's way
Coexist is like a nostalgic throwback to virtue signaling of years past.
On the back of your Prius.
Yes. So I feel like I'm less annoyed by Coexist stickers because it feels like a throwback.
But Prius used to be seen as the libtard car. What happened to that?
Was that what it was?
I feel like that's not a stereotype anymore.
I don't think it is.
It was like one of the first hybrids.
I worked for a medical supply company that I delivered medications, and that was like what we drove was Priuses because they got
with Coexist stickers
because they got great gas mileage.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Like a Coexist sticker as you're delivering big pharma to everybody. I love it.
Be kind.
Be kind.
Jared Price said, "Day late, but yesterday was Top Gun Day. Not a national thing, but an internet thing since 2010. Although the movie was actually released on the 16th of 1986. Of what month?
I guess of this month then.
Of this month?
I
think I mentioned it was Top Gun Day.
when I was watching The Hunt for Red October, I was reading up on the movie and its production, and they were saying that they set up Navy booths at the theaters thinking that it was going to do for the Navy what Top Gun did for the
for the Air Force.
The Air Force.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it didn't work out.
No.
Rhaegar Targaryen said, I have a theory that the number of bumper stickers on your car increases the likelihood that you might be a psychopath. Also, personalized plates.
Personalized plates are a controversial one. A lot of people believe that it's perfectly normal. I don't know why you'd want to do that. But, you know, I don't like the idea that the state has to tag and label your vehicle anyways.
Wait, really? That you're against license plates?
In theory, yes. In practice, no. In theory, I
Do you have bumper stickers, by the way?
No.
None?
No.
Would you?
I also don't like it when they put them on laptops.
Would you ever?
No.
Okay. I don't like it on laptops, but I have like a pro-life sticker and that's it.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't say that. I'll take it off now.
Yeah.
Shane H. Wilder
even
said...
describe the sticker.
I don't know. Okay. Shane H.
They also
Wilder
don't know what your
said,
car is.
Mary is correct. Coexist sticker people are horrid. I'm sure if I met one, I would think they're a perfectly nice person.
I'm sure.
Until they open their mouths. Sorenko Productions said, great job on the Bertram review. I agree with your assessment that it was a little too on the nose. Loved Megyn Kelly and Brett Cooper's B-plot, though. Are you reviewing the rest of the episodes?
I don't think so.
No,
Look, what's funny about that is, like, when you review something from the Daily Wire, you're going to be accused of either loving it or hating it or shilling for it and all of those things. I did like Lady Ballers more than I liked Mr. Bertram.
Me too.
I feel like the humor for shows like that has to get away from the on the nose, oh my gosh, we don't like the wokeness stuff. Oh my God, they've got they, them pronouns and this, and that. And it's just, and what's interesting is that Adam Carolla is a dude who, you know, I think with some revisions and some script rewrites would be able to nail that type of character down. And certainly he's a witty enough and smart enough comic that he could do that. But there's an audience for this stuff right now that does want to watch I equate it to like your boomer conservative aunt or uncle on Facebook. They also post Trump memes with like him with the riding an eagle.
Yeah.
Wrapped in an American flag.
Or the ones where like Jesus is with Trump in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched the second episode of Mr. Bertram and I think it veered off way too much. There was this B plot with Wendy, Bertram's wife, and she's hanging out with Bertram's friend's wife, who is black, and they get into a long debate about Obama and whether black people should vote Democrat. And it's like, I don't want to hear about that.
This is the same thing as
during a comedy show.
This is the same thing as Jennifer Lawrence talking about Mike Pence. What year is it?
It's just, yeah, it didn't fit and it doesn't make any sense. And I don't want to hear about that when I'm trying to laugh. And it was just it just didn't feel like it was done in a comedic way. It felt preachy.
And when it comes to those types of shows, you have to lean into humor that's universal. Like I said, the best plot in the whole thing was watching his daughter, who absolutely adores her father, butt heads with their mom in a comedic way, who's showing houses. And that's the best type of stuff, right? Lean into what they do for a living and the humor that can surround that. The shop jokes weren't necessarily bad, for instance.
Yeah.
The stuff about putting the people in the pen or whatever it was was actually kind of funny and stuff like that. The stuff about the daughter being appalled that the mom painted this beautiful fireplace because the type of wood should never be painted. That is something that speaks from, it's not something that you just pull out of thin air, like a joke about anti-wokeness.
It's not a tweet. It's not a bumper sticker. Yeah.
It comes from experience, and that's the type of humor that the show leans into. And I think to do something like that, it takes longer to write, and it takes more stories of personal experience, or at least the ability to consult people who have personal experience. So it's interesting, but I think you have to get away from the jokes that feel like boomer Facebook jokes.
Yeah. Quiet Inari said, honk if you love The Wire. Here you go, Brett. Did you put that on your car?
No.
No?
I think I had skating company stickers on like one of my one of my first cars that I had back when I was really young.
DCNC called you out and he said Brett's got stickers on his damn skates.
I do not have stickers. They don't stay on skates.
Really?
No, the skates get destroyed.
Fake news then?
Fake news.
Okay.
All right.
The Rumbling said, I could tell you guys stories of insurgent commanders to understand what real evil is. That was one reason I was in the military to fight it.
Okay.
Well, I mean, feel free to tell your story here if you want. Francisco Sanchez Jr. said the high school equivalent of stickers on a car are the kids with anime character mini plushies on their backpacks.
Okay.
I have a lanyard that has a plushie on it, so I have no room to talk.
She's
here.
feeling a bit called out right now.
It's a very woman thing to have a lanyard with all of your keys on it these days.
Is it?
Is it? Like, I feel like that's a stereotype now.
Is that a thing?
Every chick has the lanyard, and she has the Stanley Cup to go with it.
Well, they all have the backpack. Like it looks like a backpack, but it's kind of a purse.
I have that.
Yeah, like that's.
Well, it's not a mini backpack, right? Do I at least get points for not having a mini backpack?
Is that what it is?
It's a normal sized backpack.
Yes.
So
that's better.
It's not as bad.
That's not as bad as men wearing man purses, which I disavow.
It's called a satchel.
It's awful.
You're anti-merce?
I'm anti-merce.
All right. Shane H. Wilder said, so are the Catholic stickers on my laptop cringe? I don't know. It depends. We have to see the Catholic stickers before we make judgments. But they could be. The Last of My Kind said you meant for submarines what Top Gun did to pilots, but it was all in the Navy. Also, the real question, mac and cheese baked like a casserole or creamy? Baked.
Baked.
Or, actually, no. Baked.
Baked.
Yeah, I pretty firmly want... I like want to have the crust... like, I put breadcrumbs over my mac and cheese before I bake it. That's how I prefer.
What in the chat says, Resin Zombie 666 says, funny being anti-merce from a tall tee skinny jeans guy. Well, I don't wear
tall tee?
Long shirts. The shirts that I wear. Yeah.
Okay.
Fair point, except you're wrong, because the merce is awful no matter what. Sorry.
I don't really see you wear jeans, though.
No, I just wear joggers most of the time. I actually like when we went to the Daily Wire premiere, I was like wearing like regular pants. I'm like, ugh.
Was it that bad?
Oh my God.
Did it kill you?
Yeah, just a little bit. Luckily, I'm blessed to have a job that doesn't require me to wear like a uniform of any sort, which is.
What if we did
really
have to wear like name tags every time we were on the show?
Or what we could do is like for a week do it and pretend like it was mandated by Tim and make our own name tags.
We have little like visors that have the PCC logo on them.
That'd be great. Oh,
we have to wear hairnets.
That's great. That's really, really good. And like
we're serving up the content.
A really ugly collared shirt.
Yeah, exactly. We're serving up the deep fried pop culture news.
Yeah. They're saying it's not a merce, it's a European carry-all. Europe should be banned for how their clothes fit anyways.
What do you mean?
I'm half kidding. Americans believe that because European cut clothes don't fit Americans because Americans are fat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They actually, like, sizes in the UK, at least for women, they're like, a US 2 is a UK 6.
Yeah.
Like, vanity sizing is out of control.
So several of the companies that I used to skate for were based in Europe, so you'd always have to size up the shirts you got. Like if you wore a large,
maybe Europeans are just smaller.
Yeah. They're eating healthier because they listen to Alex Clark and there's no seed oils.
That is actually one of my biggest pet peeves is when someone has like a vacation in Europe and they want an excuse to brag about the fact that they had a vacation in Europe and they say, I went to Europe and ate cheese all day and I still lost 10 pounds. So you're getting a chance to brag about the fact that you went on vacation to Europe and you get an excuse to brag about being skinny at the same time. It's a twofer. And
I'm not just skinny, I'm well-to-do as well.
I just want to say, I went to France and I gained weight, damn it.
You're reading it and you can literally picture them going,
I ate a lot of food in France and I gained weight and I'm proud of that. And no one can tell me otherwise.
Shane H. Wilder says, it's just a crucifix, a couple of saints, and the Blessed Mother. I was given them and didn't know where to put them, so they went on my laptop.
It feels rude when you're given stickers and you don't use them. You know,
I have an entire like drawer of stickers that I don't use.
Like, what are you gonna do?
Throw them away one day, most likely.
Once you have the guts to throw them in the trash, finally.
Yep.
John Barrett said, "Can noodles and hot dogs be cooked in the same water?"
That's not the question, John. The real question is, can hot dogs and chocolate starfish be cooked in the same water?
I think if it's macaroni noodles and you put sliced up hot dog and mac and cheese, that's elite. That's extremely underrated childhood food.
There you go. I think I am going to get tacos after work today, though, now that we've got like a taco place now that there's like a taco place over here that I actually want to go to that's like not Taco Bell.
We're going to have Taco Bell on Thursday.
Okay.
If Dane keeps up his end of the deal.
We have to send him our orders.
Yeah, I forgot to do that. But I just don't know what to order that's not going to be like messy and gross.
Let it be messy. I think people would rather you just eat what you want to eat.
I don't
support this at all because I don't like the idea of eating on stream.
Because of the chewing sound?
Yes.
We can just hold the microphone away.
Oh, we need like those buttons that Tim has over there now, like the cough button.
You know, the annoying thing is the cough button is like a mile away from your chair. So you have to like make a scene. Yeah, you have to make a scene in order to use it.
I mean, but the camera, like they camera switch, so it's not like it's on you when you're doing it. At some point, what's going to happen is somebody's going to be coughing while talking and trying to reach to do it, and it's going to cause a whole thing. All right, now somebody got they're at least getting my my Limp Bizkit reference.
High Voltage 75 said every technology ages. The only thing that never gets old is connecting with people. Look at that.
Yep.
Well, it's not on camera right now.
Technically, that quote, if I remember correctly, we should hang out till we get a third crisis party. Technically, I believe that quote is wrong.
Oh.
In the actual episode, I think he says his name, so I think it's actually every technology ages, John. The only thing that doesn't get old is connecting with people.
Well, I don't think that part matters so much.
I mean, if you're making a poster out of it, perhaps a little bit of.
Did you buy that?
Yeah, it's Etsy.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
The Last of My Kind said it's no longer a fanny pack if you wear it crossbody. True.
That's even worse.
But that's the trend now.
Yeah.
I never liked it. I don't like the whole like wearing chunky sneakers with bike shorts and then an oversized blazer that looks like you found it in your dad's closet, and then the crossbody fanny pack all in one.
Yeah.
And also they always have the baseball cap. It's just not a good look. Shane H. Wilder said mac and cheese with Frank's is bussin' for real. But just not Ann's Frank's. Normal Frank's.
You have to get regular Frank's, Ann's Frank's. You don't do that.
No.
It's not good.
Jared Price said, Brett, is it still a merce if your girlfriend or wife asks you to hold hers for her?
It depends on how long she makes you hold it, because if you hold it for too long, you're kind of being played. You need to be like, you need to take this back. I can't hold this forever.
Is it a simp move to carry it in the first place?
Eventually, you're like, look, you look at your watch and you make a point of looking at your watch. You're like, look, you got 2 minutes. And then you're taking this back.
Should men just never carry the purse?
Just drop. Like, she hands it to you and you just go. It feels like it would be a Lonely Island skit back in the day.
Brewmaster Monk said, I'm an adult, so I add broccoli and proper sausage to my mac and cheese. It's good. I'm cooking it for the family tonight, actually. Nice.
Yum. That's good.
Sounds good.
We are almost at that third crisis party.
Mike Garland said hot dogs and... Okay, I'm not going to say that. Corey Anderson said...
Oh, yes.
Did you get a chance to talk to Brett Cooper in L.A.? Yes. It's in the video,
you
right?
would know that if you went and watched our Mr. Bircham series premiere red carpet event right here on YouTube.
It is on YouTube.
You can find it here.
It's literally in the video, though, so why are you asking?
Must have not watched it.
I guess you're just a fake fan.
You're just
and you didn't
not a real
watch our
fan.
premiere video because you don't care. You
really
just really
sad.
don't care about us. So I'm kind of insulted.
That's not good. Did you get a chance to like talk to her like off camera as well? Did you guys connect and be like, oh?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think we ever got a chance to talk after the premiere was over.
Because I heard her say to you, she's like, oh, we finally get to meet, which is cool.
Yeah, like we just follow each other. I guess that's like an e-friend thing.
Unknown says, is it on this channel? Yes, it is on this channel. Yes.
Where else would it be?
It's on our other channel, Culture Pop Crisis.
Don't confuse them. They're going to think you're serious. Corey Anderson said, if so, did you ask her to come on PCC? Well, it didn't happen. So, no, I didn't ask her that.
She's busy.
Shane H. Wilder said, way to drop the ball, Corey.
You got to go check it out. It's a good video.
I know, right? Waffle Sensei said, if you hold your woman's purse longer than 15 seconds, then you're gay.
There you go.
It's the 15-second rule.
It's the 15-second rule. That's absolutely perfect. It's the same thing is true for coats. And
coats aren't so
half
so
kidding.
bad.
I'm actually kidding about all this. Just treat your lady right, guys.
Brett's fighting against toxic masculinity.
Every day, it's like, oh, you walk by a puddle. No, I'm not putting my jacket over this puddle for you. I'll pick you up and yeet you over the puddle before.
Women should start dropping handkerchiefs again to show their interest.
Oh.
You drop a handkerchief.
Is that a thing? I didn't know
that. That was a thing at one time.
Wait, so that's why all these women were dropping handkerchiefs around me?
Yeah.
Oh,
you
holy
dropped
shit.
Yeah.
Damn. That's my own fault.
That was your opportunity, and you missed it.
I missed out.
Thank you.
Here I was just thinking I was surrounded by klutzy women. Damn.
Corey Anderson said, I did watch it, but I didn't see her.
Okay.
Guess you're blind then.
You'll have to rewatch it.
You need to stop sleeping in your contacts. John Barrett said, waffle troll pancakes for the win. Buy them purse. Okay.
Whatever you're saying, French toast is the way to go anyways. All right, guys, that wraps it up, ladies and gentlemen. I think I'm going to have to pull this episode because of the prawn on screen that showed earlier.
Amazing.
It didn't look visible to me, but, just to play it safe. One more here from Mr. Anderson says, the key is to find a seat if you're at a mall or store and she asks you to hold the purse. You put it behind you on the seat and hide your shame.
That's a good move.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
All right, guys, before we go, would you hit the, somebody says it was blurred. I don't know if it was blurred. It looked.
We're gonna check.
It looked blurry.
We'll figure it out.
It looked blurry, but not blurred. And I feel like in my heart of hearts, there's a difference there that YouTube would actually attach themselves to.
Yes.
Does that make
We
sense?
got another one from Jared Price. He said, if I hold it for longer than a few seconds for her to look at something, I'm jokingly using the purse like a flail till she gets embarrassed at me being a child and takes it back. Well, that's just toxic masculinity. I'm sorry, but you got to stop doing that. Pat the Plumber said, my local skate park is bussin' for real, for real.
That is awesome.
Shane H. Wilder said, wait till Brett finds out that as a man, he is required to remove his cloak and lay it down so the woman doesn't step in the puddle.
I literally just mentioned that. I said I'm not doing that. I'm yeeting her over the puddle. I'm going to pick her up. It's also...
I guess the outcome is the same.
And then here's the thing. Then it works as like a double test, because then if you're not strong enough to yeet her over the puddle, you say, it's not because I'm not strong enough, it's because you're too big and you need to lose weight. And that's what you say to her.
That's gonna destroy people's relationships.
Yes. Do that, guys.
High Voltage
Follow
75.
me for more relationship advice.
We should do a relationship advice show where it's just all stuff like that. High Voltage 75 said, don't go. Gamer maids are skipping work today.
Dude,
is that true? Gamer maids isn't happening?
One day, here's the thing. One day, it's just going to be like 250, and I'm going to be like, not feeling it.
We're just gonna leave. We're just gonna go to Taco Bell.
Or no, what were we talking about earlier? We were talking.
I want to do a performance art episode where we just do our normal stream, but we just sit here.
And so it's like we just read the articles like we normally do when we're doing the stuff before the show.
There are options. We could sit here in silence and just stare at the camera the entire time, and maybe we would have a certain crisis party wager for us to talk. Or we could just actually report the news and not give our opinions about it for a whole episode. We just actually say what's happening in the news.
We just read the article word for word, the whole thing, including it's like this article, it says like Slate, October 3rd, 2024, author, this. Yeah. Follow them on this platform.
I think it should just be like non-biased, just pure news coverage, no editorializing, no opinions for a whole episode.
I don't have opinions anyways. It's okay.
That's a postmodernist deconstruction of pop culture crisis right there.
Welcome to this episode of Popular Culture Crisis.
I think that's what we should do on episode 700. We'll just sit here.
Brett Dasovic and Mary Morgan.
PCC goes full NPR.
This broadcast is supported by viewers like you.
Grofty said gamer maids slaking?
Slacking.
Slacking.
They are slacking. That is not good, ladies and gentlemen. All right. ASMR. There we go. Before we go, hit the like button on this video. Subscribe to this channel.
I don't want ASMR culture crisis.
No, that is. Somebody says,
that
we
idea.
need opinions? Who needs opinions? They're not necessary. We just report the news. That's what everybody wants, right?
We're journalists.
Don't slander us like that, Mary. Where can they find you?
Yeah, you can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived.
Mark Rice says, sitting there saying nothing sounds like a good idea for episode 666.
Well, I wanted to make that like more of a, I don't know, we could talk about paranormal stuff, right?
We could do that. Oh, somebody says popular culture crisis. Popular culture crises.
We should have like Inverted World PCC collab for episode 666.
We could do that. We'll just have to ask Shane.
Stop! I'm ordering you to stop doing the NPR, Brett.
Why?
It's disturbing. It's disturbing. High Villager 75 said, what if at the Twisters it turns out to be the Tasmanian devil?
Holy shit, that would be awesome. I would love that. The Tasmanian devil is underrated, my friends. True chaos. All right, before we go, would you hit the like button? Okay,
No, do the whole outro like that.
Before we go, would you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel, please, if you have not done so already. If you would like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram and on Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. Popular Culture Crisis is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify if you would prefer to listen to this podcast rather than watch it. And if you would like to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook, and not TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis because we were banned on TikTok. And on Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Thank you for joining us today, and we will be back with another episode tomorrow.
This broadcast is supported by viewers like you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye guys.